You're watching Sunday Morning Matters on KC24, your local election headquarters.
Well, Andrew Janz, the Fresno County prosecutor, still pondering if he's going to run for mayor. He's had discussions with city leaders and the former mayor, Ashley Swearingen, but is not committing just yet to the mayor's race in 2020. So we welcome back in our panel for this week. We have Jim Verros over there, Diane, Pearce, and Ricardo Franco. And guys, ready for round two. You heard the interview from Andrew Janz. Ladies first in this one. Diane, what do you make of it? It sounds like he's not only exploring it, and I'm not going to put words in Mr. Janz's mouth, but you don't think about it unless you really know that you may be doing this.
Sure, I would think that's an accurate statement. And, you know, if you want to try and read some tea leaves, there are a few things that he said in the interview that, you know, kind of sent that radar off in my head saying he's going to be back, he's going to make it official, and we can expect to see him in taking on Mayor Brand in his reelection campaign.
This could be a real interesting race in 2020 because when you talk about local politics, this is on two sides of the aisle, really, in this particular case. Ricardo, obviously, you know Andrew Janz very well. Would he be a great mayor?
I think he would be doing an excellent job in that role. But, you know, the thing about running for mayor in this area is it's very different than a congressional race. This is an executive position versus a more of a legislative or lobby position. But also, you have so much drop-off on the ballot when it comes to voters. There are so many people that will vote for president and come down to even congressperson, but the rest of the ballot they never fill out. And with a primary, the way that we have it, and other people still yet maybe to announce, that's really what we've got to wrap our heads around.
Jim, obviously you know local politics just better than probably the back of your hand. But I will say this. This is really intriguing, I think, to a lot of people. I mean, here you have a guy in Andrew Janz that I think put on a really good race, if some would say that, against Congressman Devin Nunes. So this seems to be like it could be one of the biggest fireworks we see locally in 2020.
Mayor Brand needs to take this extremely serious. Andrew Janz is no joke. I mean, he took Devin Nunes on a run. Obviously, Devin Nunes was winning races by 20 points, and he beat him by less than 6. This is a street fight. This is not, you know, 20 pieces of mail, people sending stuff from everywhere. When you run for local office, it is a street fight. And if Andrew Janz is looking for that sort of street fight with Mayor Brand, it's going to be a lot of fun to cover. But I will tell you this, it is definitely a different type of campaign. And I'm going to disagree with you on something. I don't think it is a quintessential across the aisle race. He met with Ashley Swearingen, and Ashley Swearingen and her people were part of Yes on P, which was obviously against what the mayor's wishes was. So I don't think this is absolutely going to be a Republican versus Democratic race. This is definitely going to be remnants of Yes on P versus the mayor's office. The mayor needs to go on attack right now in regards to policy at City Hall for the next 40 weeks. Not for the next month, not for the next 6 weeks. He needs to start taking a stand on the issues that he ran on. And I think there are some things that he's done very, very well on, but he needs to take Andrew Janz's sort of announcement very, very serious.
Diane, go ahead.
This is a generational race is what this is.
Okay.
This is Brand's District 6 and North Fresno constituents versus, Lee Brand's constituents there versus Janz trying to be able to activate that part of Central Fresno that said no on Measure G and yes on Measure P.
Okay, but city government, he knows that he doesn't have that experience like Mayor Brand does. Does that hurt him?
I don't know that it necessarily hurts him because, like these gentlemen both pointed out, I don't think that's what this is about. And I think that I would caution Andrew Janz because I think there's a reason that you keep hearing his name come up for various races, and whether it was the voter fraud deal that he spoke about a month or two ago. He's an attractive candidate, and he's an attractive face for whatever the Democrats might be looking for. And so my caution to him would be on a more personal level, don't become a pawn of the Yes on P people who are bitter.
Okay.
Because that's what it could come down to.
Finish it off.
And I will say this, if Andrew Janz is going to run, he is obviously a deputy district attorney. Not only did, in your interview, did you say that Chief Jerry Dyer and Margaret Mims has endorsed Lee Brand in the past. Lee Brand also has the FPOA and the Deputy Sheriff's Association.
True.
So if you're going to run as the tough cop, he's going to have to answer why all these agencies are backing Mayor Brand. If he can do that, it's going to be interesting.
But Dyer and Mims candidates also did not win, some of them, in this last election.
They won the mayor, though, so there you go.
I do want to move on to something that's very controversial. That's that census question that is going to land in the highest court in the land. President Trump is calling for a question to be added on the census survey in 2020. It wants to know if a person in the U.S. is legal or illegal immigrant. They want this on every census report. Now, California lawmakers, including Alex Padilla, he is saying this could cost California billions of dollars. They fought it in 2 federal courts. They've won those, but it's going to go to the Supreme Court. Ricardo, I'll start with you here. This is really controversial. Who do you see coming out on top? And should it be even on a survey?
It should not. Look, this is definitely something that they concocted as red meat for their base, going after immigrants. Any government body stands to lose money when you have fewer people counted within your area. You lose congressional seats, you lose funding. So if you're smart about this, we really should have 50 states saying this is not what we want around here. We want everybody counted, because whether they're documented or undocumented, they are still within our community, and they are still a part of the services that we have to provide one way or another: law enforcement, healthcare, education, etc. So if you are going to push them away and we cannot get that count, we all stand to lose from it.
Diane?
I think there's 2 questions that need to be asked. And the first one is kind of that fundamental, what's the point of the census? And where conservatives are coming from is obviously that's the starting point for figuring out our federal representation in Congress. And I don't think that you want to be making that decision based on non-citizens. Now, whether they are immigrant citizens or natural born, that makes no difference. So it's not an anti-immigrant thing. It's a question of who are these representatives supposed to represent? They're supposed to represent the citizens. And we need to know how many citizens there are. But at the same time, I don't think it's fair to other areas in maybe the Midwest or areas that don't have the issues of illegal immigration that we do here and other states do, to then be affected negatively by places that have become sanctuary states or that and are going to have an influx of illegal or undocumented people that could be counted.
Jim, we got about 20 seconds on this one.
Gavin Newsom wanted a war with Donald Trump. He got one. All right. Politically, this keeps more headlines between President Trump and Gavin Newsom going. It's going to completely affect the state of California if it's on the ballot, and it's going to continue.
All right. Unfortunately, we're not going to have enough time to get to the pilot program that Fresno wants to extend.
There we go. All right.
We may have put something extra in those glasses, but hey, real quick, yes or no, 2 a.m. or 4 a.m.?
It doesn't matter.
I guess it doesn't.
Yeah, I don't understand why we're talking about this. We have real issues to talk about.
Exactly.
I disagree with both of them. 4 a.m. Keep it going.
All right.
In Latin
Having a
America,
little
there is no
fun.
last call.
We got to have a little fun on the show.
Come on.
Hey, gents, lady, thank you very much. We
Pleasure.
appreciate
Thank
this
you.
very much.